Everyone, it's Elaine from Nubby Wool Studio. You can find me on Instagram as Elaine Tom again. And I also have a second account, elaine.tom, for when I was hacked. I really won't be posting to that account at the moment unless it's something big, I guess. So please follow me on Instagram under Elaine Tom, ELAINETOM. Now that I have the account back. And you can find me on Ravelry, Elaine Max Seb. You can find me on Etsy under Nabi Wool Studio. That's my hand-dyed yarn. And you can find me on Facebook and I think Twitter also, although I don't really go on there. So I'm not sure what episode I'm on here, but we're still in January of 2022, and I feel like it's been quite a year already, and we're not even out of the first month. But I'm hoping for better things when February hits and the new Lunar New Year starts. Oops, sorry. My setup is a little wonky here. It's actually on top of one of the kids' Lego boxes. So anyway, I don't think this is going to be a long episode, but I wanted to do an episode because I feel like I have not been good at keeping my promise of doing these more regularly, and I am going to try even if they're very short episodes. So let's start with the first FO of 2022. I finished this and it is now released so I can show it. It's the Omela from Teti Nuts Knitwear, and it's a little on the wrinkled side right now. It is actually, the pattern is for a sweater dress also, but I decided to do a more cropped version, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this this little loop thing also. So I made this using Harrisville sheer as the contrast and Jarn Arbin knit by numbers, and it has a long balloon sleeve with pretty stitch detail, and it's super soft and super cozy, so I really love that. I don't think I would wear a sweater dress as often just because I think I'm pretty hard on my stuff, so I think that it would probably pill a lot, especially with this really soft John Arbin. So I decided to go with a cropped version. I also finished a second thing, and I'm not going to show it. It is the test knit for Jessie May, and it is the GR8 Gingham Raglan, or GR8 Raglan Gingham. I'm not quite sure, but I am really thrilled with it. So I used some very old stash. Then the natural color is Joseph and Annie from Wild Abundant Yarns or Wild Abundant Fibers, and the pinkish yarn, well, it's more than pink, but anyway, the other yarn is mine, Nubby Wool Studio, and I'm really thrilled with it. And I really love the pattern, and I am very tempted to make another one. I find that often I finish projects and you can't really necessarily tell until after you finish something and wear it and stuff to know what sort of modifications you would make on a garment. Sometimes I know as I'm knitting a garment, oh, I want it to be more ease or less ease, or I want it to be cropped or longer, or I want 3/4 sleeves or whatever. There are certain things that I feel fit-wise I would modify after I've finished a garment. And the pattern was so enjoyable also, so I think I might have another one in my future. Not before the deadline has passed for this test knit, but in my future. And I have a lot of other color combos that I also want to try. That's the thing that often happens to me, is when I start a project and I come up with a combination that I love, then as I'm knitting it and see other things that I have around me, there's more combinations that I can come up with that I would really love to try also. So I have I actually have too many things on my needles and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get everything done. I'm also working on a lot of sample knits and secret test things that I can't show. And so it's been a little crazy. But this is something that's coming up soon and I need to work a little faster. I have to say that with the hacking that happened, it took up a lot of my time and was very annoying. And also when it was not occupying my actual time, it occupied my mental space. So it was very difficult for me to do much while that was happening. But this is, I'm sorry if the colors are not the best and the lighting is not, it's actually really overcast today. But this is the Alum test knit, and this is a new design from Unwind Knitwear. And I am using, I have to say, I really love this yarn. It's the Rowan Felted Tweed, and I actually got the brown on sale, so it was really quite a bargain. And I have lots of the duck egg. I bought a lot. I was going to make, I believe, a Noragon pattern, which I never got to, which I still really love and want to knit. But I love all the, it's hard for you to see here, all the flex and heather pieces and the tweed, of the felted tweed. So I have to work a little faster on that, and it actually has been really very enjoyable because I find knitting with that yarn very enjoyable. This, I tried it on this morning and I love it, but it is actually going really slow for me. This is the new designed Sunny Sunny from Kuviv, and I'm using Issachar Eco Baby. So it's a chain net. I don't know if you can see it. And it's really soft, and this is like wearing a sweatshirt. And I know I'm gonna really love it. And so I think what I'll have to do is I will probably not make it on deadline, but I want to make a garment that I will actually really love. A lot of times I'm tempted to knit things and take shortcuts just so I can make all the deadlines that I have to make. Although I know with certain things, there are little things that I would like to do, but would take much more time. And since I've hurt my elbow, broke my elbow in a million pieces, I find that a lot of things are a little bit more exhausting for me and a little bit harder for my body. And all this ribbing on the sleeve, and it's twisted ribbing also, is sort of difficult. And for some reason, this yarn is not as easy for me to knit either. It requires a lot more pushing than I had imagined, but it feels great, and I know that I will wear it. And so I want to actually make a garment that fulfills all the things I want. So I was tempted to not do this sewn hem, but I went with it. I was going to do ribbing, but that would have taken a lot more time. But I am very happy with it actually, and it fits really well and it feels great. So we'll see if I make the deadline with this, but I will try. And then I am also working on a test knit with for Alina of Gift of Knitting, and I haven't worked with her in a while, but I really enjoy her designs. And this is using a Bee-Wool Studio also. What is this one called? Rock Sweater. So this is the Rock Sweater, and it is due in February, so I guess it will be released sometime in February, and all my yarns are getting tangled here. So I'm holding Petals alpaca, that's mine, a Bee-Wool Studio alpaca, with mohair, also mine, and the gauge is 16, so it should be a very fast knit, and the halo on it is really beautiful. And Petals, I wish I had also, I think I will dye this on other bases if I don't think I wrote down the recipe, but I will try to create it. It's this like yellowish green that has different specks of pink and some greens and some grays, and of course you cannot see it on this. Anyway, it's really beautiful. It's going fast when I actually have time to knit on it, so I will hopefully get more time to do that also. And then the last thing I can show you that I'm working on is for Weichin, the petite knitter, and this is Caribou. So Caribou, her sample was knit in 2 colors only, and I decided to switch it up a little with the color work for myself. I had a bunch of yarn laying around. I originally thought I was going to use this, which is Lamana Como Tweed, with a BC Garns Omela Pura. And then I was working on the test knit for Caitlin Hunter, the Sauve hat, which is now released, and I could not get gauge with this yarn, but it's the BC Garns Omela Melange. This is dark blue. So it was already wound up and caked, so I was sitting there and I thought, ooh, this actually would look really beautiful with this. And then I decided it needed a little pop, so I put in my Nabiwool Studio. It's this copper color, so Wensleydale, I believe. And so here it is so far. And I'm now on the part where you'll see the Caribou once I actually get to work on it some more. So that is going to be released, I believe, in February also. So I do have quite a bunch of whips on my needles, plus I have, I think, three other sweaters, about to be 4, and a blanket that I'm working on in my whips pile. And yeah, and it's been crazy trying to keep everything together and do work on everything and not create too much pain on my arms. So that's another thing that I recently posted about on Instagram, is that I do have a lot of whips, partially because I take on a lot of test knits, but partially it gives me the variation of different yarns and different weights and different needles, so that my arms are not doing the same thing over and over again exactly. It is still knitting, but it's doing it a little bit differently each time with the different fibers and the different weights. And yeah, that it helps me a little bit. So that is one of the ways that I do try to give my body a little bit of care. And all the knitting obviously is great for my mind, but yeah, it might be a little overwhelming at points. So yeah, I am glad I am back with my Instagram, and I'm hoping that 2022 will improve from here. I realize for myself, it's been very rough. I've had a lot of things happening here, but also for a lot of, almost everybody I know is going through a hard time. And I hope that we can support each other and that the rest of 22 will be better. 2022, sorry. And I hope to be back soon with more finished objects to show you. I'll definitely have more whips, and hoping you have a good day. Thanks for coming by. And it'd be great if you subscribe, and I love any comments, and I try to answer them as quickly as possible. And I do have other things that I've promised to do podcasts about. One of the things is about the different ways I knit my socks and what I prefer and stuff like that. I will try to get to that soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.